Hi, welcome to How to Repair. This video is on an error code 51, 52, 53 and 54. All work should be done by someone who is competent with electrics before undertaking this repair. Now we have a tumble dryer here which is making a humming noise and the drum is not turning. Now this is normally a sign that the capacitor has failed on the starts capacitor, that is. As this model of machine has two capacitors, a run capacitor and a start capacitor. So you could hear a slight humming noise there. So we're going to enter the diagnostic mode. By holding the two buttons down as you turn the dial from the off position to the first position, you will enter the diagnostic mode. Now the third position I'm on here is a test sequence for the pump to run for 30 seconds with the drum to turn anti-clockwise. Now you can hear the pump running, but the drum is not turning. Now what we'll do is flick forward in a minute to number 4, 5 and 6. Now number 4 is a stepping sequence where the drum steps. You can hear it pulsing, but the drum's not turning. Number 5 on this program, the drum should be turning in a clockwise rotation with low heat. And we've created an error code. And as you can see, the light is flashing 5 reds followed by 4 greens. Now if you had error code 52, 53 or 51, it would flash either 5 reds followed by 1, 2 or 3 greens depending on the fault. And as you can see, the error code is there. Now as I said a few minutes ago, to get into diagnostic mode you need to be in the off position holding the two buttons on this type of machine to the right and then turning to position 1. We're already in diagnostic mode, but you can retrieve the last error code by turning it all the way to position 10 without stopping. It's very important not to stop when you're turning the dial. You have to go all the way to position 10, otherwise you'll create an error code if you stop somewhere. Now while I'm taking the machine apart, I will just give you a full breakdown of the different types of error code for E5. This is all to do with the motor. Right, E51, which is 5 red followed by 1 green, is a motor triac short circuit. This is to do with the motherboard, possible motor fault, wiring fault, or as I said, the main circuit board. Error 52 is intervention of motor overheating safety cutout, and the possible fault for this is a motor fault, motor overheating, wiring fault, or it could be the circuit board again. Error 53 is motor triac sensing circuit faulty. This is usually to do with the motherboard. And error 54, which we're working on here, is motor inoperational, and this could be to an excessive load, low voltage, motor transmission system inoperative, capacitors or even possible motor, but not usually the circuit board. Now you'll just notice that I'm undoing 2 hidden screws here, one on the other side, and there's one just tucked inside the reservoir, and you will need a magnetic screwdriver. Usually it'll undo with a normal screwdriver, but it's very hard to get it out, so a magnetic screwdriver is very useful for pulling this out. And you need to check along the top. On some models they did put screws at the top, and then the side panels come out, and you will notice a plastic clip which locks into the front when reassembling. And then of course you've got the lugs on the bottom, and again just taking the other side off from a different angle here, and you can see this plastic white lug that slots into the main cabinet. Now a simple test to check the capacitor is turn it onto a normal cycle, press start, and when you hear the humming noise you can just push the drum and it might start. Like this one. and this is a good sign that the start capacitor has gone. If you do not have a mega to actually test the capacitor, which is an electrical instrument which we use for testing capacitors, but a simple way is just wait till it starts humming, give it a push, and there we go. So I'm pretty sure that this is the capacitor, and now we're going to change the two capacitors. The one on the left is a 6 microfarad on this model, and the one on the right is a 2 microfarad. Now the one on the left is the start capacitor, the one on the right is the run capacitor. But before touching these capacitors, double check that you have disconnected the appliance from the electricity supply, and then short a screwdriver which is insulated across the two terminals to make sure that you have fully discharged the capacitor before handling it, as they hold, the nature of a capacitor is they hold electricity to shunt the motor when starting, and they can give you a nasty electrical shock if you haven't discharged them. And this one on the left is usually a little bit tricky to get off, but it just eases the plastic catch backwards. And now we're ready to put the new 6 microfarad in. And again, follow the same procedure for the other one. Make sure you use an insulated screwdriver so you don't get a shock through the screwdriver when shorting. Now I didn't need to change both capacitors. I could have just changed the start capacitor as that was the fault, but out of caution I'm replacing both. It's also worth taking the motor out of its housing. Underneath the two capacitors there's two covers which cover the fan blades, and in this area they can build up with fluff over a period of time, and it's worth going through the whole machine with a vacuum cleaner and removing as much of the dust that has built up over a period of time as possible, as this does cause wear and overheating on things like the motor. But you can see the pulley that I was pointing to there and the tension spring which holds the motor. But we've got it all reassembled, so we'll just start the machine, and there you go, it's back into life. Now, although we have rectified the fault on this machine, we now need to clear the memory in the circuit board to get rid of the error fault. So, as I said before, by pressing the two buttons and turning the dial to 1, you enter the diagnostic sequence, and then without stopping turn it all the way to position 10. You can see me just showing you the buttons here, and once you get to position 10 you can press the two buttons again and you will hear a beep noise, and that has cleared the error fault. Now to get out of diagnostic mode you need to turn it on, off and on again, and this will actually take it back into normal use program. And there you go. I hope you found this video helpful. Please remember to visit the website for full diagnostic videos and repair guides, and you'll also be able to purchase all the parts for your Electrolux Zanussi tumble dryer. Thanks very much indeed for watching, and if I helped, remember you can always click on the Buy Me a Beer button. Thanks very much indeed. Bye bye.